Welcome to the show. I'm back. I'm back in the saddle again. Here I am. Oh, yeah, we're back. Sure. Why not? What else have I got to do? It's been a busy weekend, though, I'll tell you that. It was a crazy weekend here. I didn't do a show last Friday, and I didn't do one yesterday because I had so much going on the weekend. But what a good time. What a good time. Saw a lot of friends and my mother's 100th birthday. Yeah, it all came together. It was a fun weekend. And just in case you forgot who I am, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice. You can see it right up there on the sign if you don't believe me. And we are in the studios of 4680Q. We, I mean me, myself, me, myself, and I, because there's nobody else here unless there's ghosts walking around, which I've been told there is before. And we're ready to go with Your City, Your Voice today. On Trash Talkin' Tuesday, sometimes you take out the trash, sometimes the trash takes itself out. That's the beautiful thing about trash. And on this August 5th, we're into August now. Mamma mia. Wow. Unbelievable. We got four more weeks of summer, and that's it. Then we're into September. Kids go back to school, and all the partying is over, basically. Now, this weather has been fantastic. You got to admit, we had a tremendous weekend here. It was just beautiful all weekend, despite the smoke that's migrating down from northern Ontario and the other provinces. And it was really smoky out the last couple of days. It was very smoky out. And I always judge by looking at the building, the Spalino Towers over in Niagara Falls, New York. They're a little bit hazy, but not too bad today. So the smoke isn't that bad here today, but it was bad on the weekend. You get outside, I start watering, and of course, somebody fires up the lawnmower, and then the grass just knocks me out. So it was pretty wild this weekend as far as that goes. But I'm not too bad. Not too bad. It was hot. It was hot though. Then yesterday was my mother's actual birthday, the 100th birthday. Yeah, she turned 100. Can you imagine? How do you get to 100? But I don't know how, I don't know why these guys are cutting their lawn so much. Like my lawn, I haven't cut it for 2 weeks. It's dormant. It's not growing. But people are out there once every 2 or 3 days cutting their lawn. I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, yeah, my mother was great. She 100 years old. How do you figure on Sunday we went to the home, a bunch of people inside her and brought a cake and everything. And then yesterday we just went back on her actual birthday. And she says the secret is to take it easy and relax. And I think genetics are probably a lot more important than take it easy and relax. Although she said I'll live to be 100 too, because I've learned to take it easy and relax my whole life. I don't know if that was an insult or a compliment. Either way, her grandmother lived to 106. So now she's got a goal. She's at 100. She made it to 100. Now she's got to be at 106. So Godspeed to her. God bless her. Let's hope she does that. And shout out to other people who have the same genetics going on here. Ronnie, Gary, Doreen, Cindy, Sandy, Linda Gabrielli, and Dave McKinty. It's their great grandmother, too, who lived to be 106. So we're all related. Chentani to all of them. You've got the genetics. Let's just keep it going here and see if we can all live to be 100. I don't know. I don't think I will. I don't think I'm going to live to be 100. I'm like my uncles probably. Well, they died real young, 48 and 47, 48 and 52, 53. My dad died at 48. So the longevity on my mother's side, I don't know if I inherited that or not. I'm doing pretty good, but boy, 100, like it seems she's there. It's unbelievable, but to live to live that long is there's not a lot of people you see walking around 100 years old. Although with medicine, there's a lot more than we used to see. Okay, let's get into the show and talk about our sponsors: Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission. And my mother's 100 years old. You want your car to live to see a nice old age? Well, if you want that, you have to take care of it. And that's where Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop comes in. You take your car in there for regular oil changes and for checkups. Just like you go to the doctor, same thing. Take it in there. Wild Bill throws your car on his computers, tells you what's wrong with it, if anything, fixes it for you, make sure it's running tip top, make sure your oil's right, it's changed, make sure that your brakes are running good, make sure that everything is running the way it should be. And that's the way you add longevity to your car. Your car doesn't need genetics, it just needs you to take care of it. Ken Hunter, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, will do that for you. All you do is go to wildbillsauto.ca, check out their website, and tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and get your car checked over. You know you're going away this summer, and you know you don't want to break down. So why fool around? Be proactive, not reactive. And he has a full body shop there as well. I mean, if you get in a wreck, take your car in. He'll take it in, send it back to you in showroom condition. You cannot beat Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Give him a call today. And while you're on the website, wildbillsauto.ca, don't forget to go to the video, this video, or any of my videos and subscribe. It costs nothing. It costs nothing to subscribe. You'll get notifications when I drop another video. For all of you listening live on 4680Q radio, internet radio, do the same thing. Watch the video. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. You can't beat it. It's a good time. It's a good time. I know you're busy in the summer. It takes 2 seconds to pound that subscribe button, and it costs you nothing. Why not? Why not? It helps the algorithm, helps to get the show out there. I think we're at around 157 or 155 or something subscribers. Let's get to 200. Geez, a while ago I was just shooting to have 50. Now we're heading for 200. How about that? Okay, let's get into the show with viewers' comments. First, a few viewers' comments. Nothing major. I don't know. Maybe most of the stuff I say people agree with. I guess so, because they're not arguing with me too much. At Lokiva8540. This one I don't get. There's some kind of hidden message here, I guess. Does Peace Train Foundation in Hartford mean anything to you, or was that an unrelated mistake? I have no idea what you're talking about. Whoever you are, I don't know. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. I don't know anything about the Peace Train Foundation in Hartford. It doesn't mean anything to me. And was it a mistake? I don't even remember saying it, so it could have been. I don't know, but I can't imagine mentioning that. But hey, who knows? I talk about a lot of things. Thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. But I think you might have put the comment on the wrong video. Is that possible? Hey, thanks for watching. Regardless, subscribe. Maybe I'll make more mistakes you can pick out. I don't know. At Penny Brookify, have a fabulous long weekend and a very happy 100th to your mother. Thank you so much at Penny Brookify. We had a great time, and God bless my mother for reaching that milestone. And I hope all your uncles and your father make it themselves, because we hung around for a long time and had a good time, and I wish them a long life. And another one at 8081 Slick. Sorry for disturbing your show, Paul. And I go, yeah, because when I was here, Gary came up to the window and held up a big sign, right? And I go, he's disturbing my show. You didn't. I love it when you do that. It's hilarious. It's great to see Doge out there alive and well. Gary held up a sign that said the city employees are over there sleeping under a tree. And I said it right away. Within about 5 minutes, the 3 city trucks took off. I don't know what the hell they were doing over there. Maybe they're having lunch or something, but they were there for a long time. So somebody's listening. They packed up and left. Good job, Gary. Taxpayers pay a lot for city employees and benefits. Sitting around doing nothing is not that job. It's not their job. So that's my job. I sit around and do nothing. They go to work. Get to work. I guess they should take that. Maybe they're just taking my mother's advice. Take it easy and relax. Take it easy and relax. Always nice to take it easy and relax. And that's that for viewer comments. Not like I say, not too many comments. Nobody had anything really to say. I say a lot of controversial stuff. I'm looking for opinions on it. Maybe either nobody disagrees with me or they just don't have an opinion, which, we're in Canada, so a lot of times it's hard to get opinions out of people. Speaking of opinions, we'll stick around Niagara Falls for a little while here. An interesting comment by CAO Penguin at last week's City Council meeting regarding a zero increase budget. And that's something I'm always pushing and I'm always talking about, a zero increase budget. Zero increase budget. I'm always talking about that. And I believe that's something our City Council should be aiming for every year. And Vince Carriel kind of put an exclamation mark on that when he said that he didn't like they're starting out at 1 or 2% and then going to 4 or 5%. He would rather see them start at zero, at least give us an indication they're trying to keep it down to zero if possible, rather than starting with an increase and then going up from there. And I know it's what's the difference? Well, there's a little bit of a difference. I'd like to know where City Council is looking to keep our tax increases at a minimum and they're going to start at zero and work their way up. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I think it would. But anyway, they'll give you all kinds of reasons why they can't deliver a zero budget increase. But at least they can make us think that they're trying, right? Wouldn't that be nice? But no, they start at 1 or 2 and then go up to 6 or 7 or whatever. Now, CEO Jason Burgess, the Penguin, of course, I call him Penguin, said they could deliver a zero, but taxpayers wouldn't like the city they'd be living in. Well, Mr. Cobblepot, we faced about a 25 increase over the last 4 years and another 6% perhaps this year. So that's 30% over 5 years. And we don't like the city with the 30% increase. Could zero be any worse? Take a look around. Are your roads great? Are they trimming the weeds? The meteor crater's got 6 full weeds in it now. Are they, what's so great about everything when they raised our taxes 30%? So they wouldn't like to see the city we're living in. Well, it's not that great now, Mr. Penguin, Mr. Cobblepot. No, it isn't. Place is a mess. The roads are a mess. City property is a mess. We burned out stores and buildings sitting everywhere, crack houses and tons of homeless and street people committing crime. What has our 25% tax increase over the last 4 years actually got us? Well, it got us more staff, a bigger budget, and more expenses. But if you're going to use the city, how it looks as a barometer, not a very good barometer to use when you're talking about, what our city would look like if we didn't have tax increases. I don't know if it could be much worse. Thing is, a 0% increase is possible as long as city council is willing to cut expenses. And that's the one thing we never see. They'll give us every reason in the book. Bada bing, bada boop, bada beep, bada boop. Every reason in the book to raise our taxes. Oh, cost of living, this and that, CPI, CPO, you name it. Any excuse they can use. The price of oil, the price of rice in China. But they'll never stand there and say, maybe we should cut expenses. Now, finally, this year, last meeting, we saw 2 words, wants and needs, that they finally are talking about. And we heard Mona Patel say DOGE. That's right, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, looking into departments. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. I think most taxpayers understand inflation. Things go up in price. And, city councils, they're under the gun for that as well. Not only us as taxpayers, but they are. We get it. But it'd be really, really nice if they would try to deliver zero. And Larry DeCoco keeps saying the zero-based budget. She keeps talking about that and finding efficiencies. But rarely have I heard them talk about finding efficiencies instead of raising our taxes. It'd be nice to hear that once in a while. And the squirrel, I mean, forget about her. The squirrel, if she sees money, she grabs it and puts it, stashes it in the trunk of a tree somewhere. She's like a squirrel hoarding nuts. And yeah, they never spend that money that comes into the pocket of the city council, or city at least. Never save that money and send it to the taxpayers, always putting it away for whatever rainy days that, got $80 million stashed or something. So at the end of the day, we don't see them saving money. Like, they'll blow it on, they'll keep the dispatch here instead of sending it over and saving taxpayers $1.5 million. They'll make a new walking trail, even though we have 32 miles of the most beautiful walking paths in the world, right on the Niagara River from Fort Erie to Niagara Lake. We have the Gale Center with a track, McBain Center. We have Oaks Park. We have so many places to walk. The Millennium Trail that goes from Whirlpool Road all the way to McLeod Road. I don't know how many miles that is as the crow flies, but it's a long way if you want to walk. And they cost money to upkeep. So $17 million they're going to spend. They shouldn't spend it. This is the kind of efficiencies we're talking about here. Wants and needs. So, when the Penguin says, we wouldn't like to see the way the city would be if we didn't increase taxes, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all. I'm not buying that. We give a lot of money. 50 or $60 million on a capital budget, another 100 and something on the 150, 60 million or whatever it is on the capital budget, on the operations budget. So it's not like we don't give a lot of money, and we get an extra 20 million nobody else gets, and their roads aren't any worse than Niagara Falls. Their taxes haven't gone up any humongous amounts over the years, no worse than or better than Niagara Falls, so there you go. But we have to work with real numbers on the balance sheet as well. They always do the $14 million trick of casino revenue when they're jamming down 20 to 22 million. And that's on the revenue side of the ledger. And when revenues fall short, who gets charged? Me and you. We get charged. When there's a negative side of the ledger, when it's negative, they make it up with tax increases. And that's you and me. Whereas if they put the right number in there, it wouldn't fall short and we wouldn't have tax increases, maybe. We'll never know. We'll never know until it happens, right? I haven't seen that in 5 or 6 years. I've never seen that be more than 14 million, and they use every kind of excuse in the book. The squirrel, oh, geez, they could cut that off any minute. Yeah, sure. Here's what I would do. If I was mayor, I'd say I'm dedicating 20 million, everything we get from the casino that we can put out, plus anything from the province and feds for roads. I'd earmark $100 million or more if we get it, just to roads. And we'd pay for it with the casino money for 5 years. That's all, for 5 years. And get these roads done, and that's it. Another couple million a year to keep the city clean. That's it. Earmark that. Promise it. Put it in the bylaws. I don't care what they do, but make sure we get that money to clean up this town and stop being wasted on crazy stuff. Hey, we don't need $17 million trails. Let's put it in the roads. I mean, it's easy to get 20 million if you really try. Yeah. Anyway, and then we give $700,000 to an entity, the Innovation Hub, that we don't even know what they're doing with it. They don't show us the books. They never show open their books or show anybody, and then they just hand them over $700,000. It's ridiculous what the city council does. Yeah, no, the Penguin. No, you wouldn't want to see the city if we didn't have tax increases. What the hell was that signal when we were kids? Did we do this? Did we do this? Or say, sure, Bruce? One or the other. We did that's this. I think we did this. I don't know. I can't. Some of you older guys will have to tell me what that means. I think it was that we did this when somebody didn't Didn't tell the truth. Okay. Yeah, and I can pick on the $18 million exchange, $17, $18 million exchange down there that the market moved out of. And that, man, we blow lots of money in the city. I mean, would the city be worse off if the exchange wasn't built? Would the city be worse off if that walking trail wasn't built? I don't think so. You think so? Leave your what you think in the comments. I don't think it'd be any worse off, would it? The Sylvia Marketplace, the market would still be at Sylvia Avenue. They loved it the way it was. Now they moved out because of the exchange. We can't be any worse down there, right? It was a social gathering place. I mean, when you run for city council, you got to go to the market on Saturday mornings and shake hands. That was tradition, and now it's not even there anymore. Got to go to the McBain Center and shake hands, I guess. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, spendthrifts, right? I mean, for the most part, they're spendthrifts. How can we ever get to zero with these high rollers running the show? We're not gonna. I have people say I'm crazy. They'll say, he's nuts. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, you know what? When you face a 6% tax increase and you say, you're crying about the tax increase, I'm not sure what happened. Well, I know how we get there, and I know what the problem is. I'm not happy about a 6% increase, but I know how we'll get there. And if everybody woke up and would understand that, I think we'd be better off, and we'd have more stuff, and money wouldn't be so much of a problem, and neither would tax increases. Okay, enough of that. We'll see what they do. We got November, I'm going to say 27th, somewhere in around there is the budget meeting, which will be very interesting. We'll get the numbers. We'll review them here. I'll tell you all about it. Don't worry. And we'll see how City Council handles this one when they decide on the budget. Now, of course, you got to understand the mayor brings down the budget. It's his budget. He delivers it to council. And then council either says yay or nay, and they can send it back and say, make these changes. And if the mayor doesn't want to make them, he can veto it. I mean, he can veto it. And that's that. And then we got to come back to council and get a 2/3 vote or something like that. It's a big process. But Mayor Jim's been really good with suggestions. He goes back and they sharpen their pencils a bit. And then finally, everybody usually approves it, except Lori LaCoca didn't last time because she didn't like it. There's some good parts in it, some bad parts. She couldn't okay it with the bad parts, but everybody else put their hand up, so it really didn't matter. Okay, let's get to my second sponsor. What is my second sponsor? My second sponsor is Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And you know what? I had a tray of pizza. I got a tray of pizza from there on Saturday. It was awesome. Awesome. They make a great pizza. Why do I like their pizza so much? Well, the Mancini family recipe for sauce and for the crust is number one. Number two is consistency. They know how to make a pizza and they make it the same all the time. The blend of cheese to sauce is right. They use fresh ingredients on it. It comes out cooked perfectly. You can't go wrong. They have a ton of toppings, but they're not just pizza over there. If you don't like pizza for some reason, they have panzerotti, they have steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine, subs. Oh gosh, they have a full menu. Whatever you like, you can get over at Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Not a problem. They have specials all the time. I don't know what their special is this month. We're starting a new month, but they always have a special. Just ask when you dial 905-374-2222. Just ask what their special is. They'll tell you. And they have all kinds of combos. Pizza and wing combos. Everybody loves pizza and wings. And they've got everything there. You can't beat it. They're very, very good. And I highly recommend them. When you go there, tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. They have Dash and Skip and all the other services they use, but they'll also deliver right to your door, hot and fresh. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Grab yourself a beautiful pizza today. You know you want one. Pizza's my calming. I get all excited and upset about something. Right? I eat a piece of pizza, I feel better. Okay, and then there were two. Two what, you ask? Is anybody asking that? I don't know. Two lawsuits have been filed against the city of Niagara Falls for not allowing the Women in Ontario Say No group. You remember? They came to city council. They had signs, Women in Ontario Say No, at a city council meeting, and they wanted to do a delegation. They wanted to get up and speak about not allowing counselors with a criminal record to sit on council and not allowing counselors who have been charged with a crime not to sit on council. That's what they're looking for. Right now, that doesn't matter. You can have a criminal record or be accused of a crime and still sit on council. They don't think it's right. That's what they wanted to talk about. They've been to city councils all over Ontario talking about this. But our city council wouldn't let them. So they were sitting in the crowd with their signs, not causing a ruckus, just sitting there with their signs. They wouldn't let them get up and speak. They were sitting there with their signs. And then Bill Matson, our city clerk, made up some lame excuse about a legal matter before the courts. We all know what that is. And I haven't heard anything about that because July 30th was a court date, and I don't know what happened to it. I haven't heard any reports. I've asked people. Nobody knows anything about it. So I'm going, wow, that's pretty strange. See what I did there? See what I did there? And yeah, so now they're launching their own lawsuit against the city for the same reason, to force the council to allow them to speak and demanding an apology for council actions. Because not only didn't they let them speak, they also, there's Bob Benner right there from Hamo Machine Company going by, the crew. They always go by on Tuesdays. And they wouldn't let him speak. And they also called the cops to have him arrested because they wouldn't put the signs down. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a public building owned by the taxpayers and our city council is having taxpayers arrested, not causing a disturbance, not doing anything? They can't even be trespassed because it's public property. We own it. And the city council meeting is a public meeting. Now, if you're yelling and screaming and swearing and threatening and that kind of thing, yeah, they'll throw you out. But if you're sitting there quietly holding a sign, Women in Ontario Say No, there was nothing profane about it, nothing racist about it, not any kind of hate speech. They can't throw you out, but they did. And they of course, they didn't arrest them. They can't arrest people for that. But anyway, they want an apology, and they're going to look to a lawsuit. And making the case worse is the fact that after being told to keep his comments to Bill 9, which is what they wanted to talk about, Mike Strange went on to make his case for being innocent, which he was told not to do, but they let him do it anyway. And they came back the next week, and they didn't have signs, and they sat there quietly and everything else. So, and but the mayor makes a big case for decorum. We need decorum, but it's all a bunch of baloney. It depends who's talking, if they have decorum or not. So it's all a bunch of baloney anyway, right? But they're launching it, and the what is it? The Canadian Constitution. Oh, I can't remember the group now. I had a Canadian Constitution Foundation already launched is going to launch a lawsuit against the city for not allowing those women in. So it's against the Constitution. So interesting. And then there were two lawsuits. There you go. Okay, so another big controversy is selling bottled water at the arena. I'm not sure exactly what council is trying to prove by not allowing the arena to sell bottled water. And, I go back to when we ran Day of 1,000 Musicians, we couldn't bring in bottled water. And nobody sold bottled water, so you have to get it in boxes or something, right? Tetra Packs or something. But, what's really funny is that every store in Niagara Falls, everywhere, grocery stores, you name it, they sell bottled water. So what are they trying to prove by not having it at public buildings? Like that they're good environmental stewards or something? It's a bunch of baloney, and all these charity groups, they make money off it. I mean, they sell water at their events, and they go and buy it for $4.99 a case and sell it for $1 a bottle. They make a decent amount to help support their charity, so they're taking the money away from that. And they're not going to save the earth when every other store in the city and everywhere is selling bottled water. So I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. This is to mollify the anxieties of small groups of left wing trash terrorists. I don't get it. Ban should have never been put into effect in the first place, just like other dumb ideas, like paper straws that are delivered in plastic cups. I mean, that's just dumb. Just really dumb for what? And when you have every other store in the city selling bottled water, why are they worried about it on city property? What, somebody's going to protest them or anything? What are they trying to prove? It's time to get rid of that crazy idea. Bring bottled water back. Let the places sell them. Get them in there. They're all recycled anyway. All the plastic's recycled. It's not like they're floating all over the place. They're recycled. Not at any events at the city at city owned properties for sure. They're recycled. There's all kinds of recycling cans, and most people who have events are aware of recycling, and they do have recycling plant containers there. And I mean, you've got Gale Center, McBain Center, the Exchange, Chippewa Arena, Fireman's Park. That's five I can think of. There's probably more. And I just wonder if the Niagara Parks Commission sells bottled water. I wouldn't doubt if they do. I don't think they've banned them from the park. You see people walking around with plastic bottled water. I don't know how they would patrol that anyway. Tulip Patrol. What are they going to go around arresting people for having a bottle of water? It's ridiculous. Time they rescind this crazy rule once and for all and get back on track here. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think? Should they rescind that rule and let them sell bottled water at city-owned venues or not? That's up to you. You tell me what you think, and we'll talk about it on the show. Okay, over to Charles Daly Park. And about 2 weeks ago, they tracked down and arrested the repeat offender that killed the 82-year-old former firefighter by running him over with his own car. They finally got the guy. And we'll see what they do with this guy. He does have a record. He does have other charges against him. And we'll see if they lock this guy up and throw away the key. I mean, this guy is not only charged with murder, he also has a string of violations. So there's no reason that this misfit shouldn't go away for life. He's 52. He should be in for the rest of his life. Throw him in the clinker for 25 years, no parole. He'll probably be dead by the time he's ready to come out. And we hope that someone in the slammer makes sure his sentences is a really exciting one with lots of action. But, we're in Canada, and you know what happens here. Catch and release, the turnstiles of justice. These guys never, I bet you'd be on the street. You'll be on the street probably in a couple days if you can put up bail. I mean, they should put the bail at like $10 million. The guy tried to disappear already once. He killed the guy and ran away, stole his car, and burned it. But no, they'll probably figure out some crazy scheme to let him go, and he'll be on the streets again. That's the way we work here in Canada. It always favors the victim, or always favors the criminal, never the victim. We know that. You wait and see. This guy, even if he does get charged, then he'll go away for 5 years. Right? 7 years less 2 years he's in the slammer before his trial and everything. Or he might even get off. Still say the guy jumped in front of him and he had no choice. But there'll be something. You watch these guys get away with murder. Really, murder, right? But if it was me, I'd throw this guy away. I wouldn't even. There's a video of it or whatever. Bang, you're gone. You're gone. Guilty. You're going away, and you're going away for good. You'll never see the light of day again, buddy. But that's me. I mean, we cry about crime all the time. People always cry about crime. You read all the stories. Oh, pray. They have the memorials. But these guys always get out and do it again. I mean, it's time we have to get this justice system in order in Canada. We got to get the judges, these bleeding heart liberal judges, we got to get them to put these guys away with maximum sentences. And we get rid of the wild, wild west attitude in Canada. I mean, these same people always jumping in, breaking into places, stealing jewelry, home invasions. It's just so ridiculous. It's unbelievable, but there you have it. I mean, really, can you imagine the best thing that would be open carry? You think this guy would have stole that guy's car if he was packing a Glock on the side? I don't think so. I think this guy would have stayed away from him if he looked and saw the guy who was carrying a Glock. Yeah, that's the way it works. That's the way it works. We're gonna get some easier target, not somebody who's carrying a gun. I mean, it's amazing how the threat of lead poisoning makes people act differently. And that'd be a nice message to send anybody else who tries to attack a guy. But, we don't have that. We don't have that senseless loss of an octogenarian. No common sense. Nothing to be sense to be made out of this. Just a innocent guy gets run over by his own car and killed. And I don't get it, and I don't get the courts that don't get it. So I make me prime minister for a day, please. Please make me prime minister for one day. Give me the executive, be able to sign executive orders, not fake them like Carney. Sign real executive orders that people stick to. That's what I want. That'd be awesome. Okay, let's go down the street here to Queen Street and the post office. Well, these posties have just signed their own pink slips. Yep, they voted no to the Canada Post Corporation's latest offer. So they're poised to strike, and when that happens, they're going to all be pretty well finished. Canada Post Corporation says there will be no more offers. So they're at a standstill and will most likely take the strike route. They're going to go on strike, which will be their finale. It'll be their grand finale, their final demise. I mean, the writing was on the wall last November when they went on strike. Let's face it. Nobody even cared. They thought right before Christmas, with packages and parcels and gifts and cards, that they're really going to put us behind the eight ball. And you know what happened? Nobody even noticed. No, nobody cared. I had one guy, I saw the best comment ever was, they went on strike. The only reason I knew they were on strike is because I never got my Kentucky Fried Chicken coupons. And that's the way it is. They're done. They're gone. They're going to go the way of the dodo and the Iceman and the Milkman. Sorry, John Ringo Beam. And the Bread Man and the Coal Man. All these different positions went by the wayside. And these ones are going too. They're not going to be here in 10 years, the post office. And these guys are just making it happen faster for themselves by not okaying this contract. I mean, the CPC, Canada Post Corporation, is losing billions of dollars. $10 million a day in June they lost. That's $300 million for the month. Taxpayer dollars, of course, because we pay the way, right? The taxpayer dollars, we pay. When they lose, we pay. And it's impossible for the CPC to continue on this way. Cuts and changes have to be made. That's all there is to it. It's been brought to that point. And the Canadian Union of Postal Workers told their union members to say no to the offer. They made the idea. And now all the jobs are on the line, and the service is going to go the way of the dodo. I'm telling you. Technology's taken over. They don't realize it or they don't want to acknowledge it, but it has. So their gig is up. It's done. And it's a real bad day for postal workers and their families who most people thought, I thought they'd accept the offer and get back to work under a contract. But they didn't. And the offer was a 13% increase over the next 4 years with a $1,000 signing bonus and an addition of part-time workers. So, I mean, was the deal the best deal in the world? No. But it was a good deal to keep them working and earning a living. But obviously that's not enough. And as we go down the road, they're going to start laying people off or not hiring people through attrition as they retire. And then it's going to be over. Maybe within 10 years, maybe 5 years now. Maybe 5 years, because Canada Post is broke. They can't continue on the way they are. So this contract gave them a shot maybe, but now they go on strike. Who knows if they'll ever come back? And at the end of the day today, we got to look at this realistically and say, what do they actually deliver? Well, you know what they deliver to my house? Flyers. flyers for different stores, Canadian Tire, whatever. That's what they deliver. I don't get hardly any mail because through COVID, when nothing was open, we most people learned to use technology to pay their bills and get their bills via email or online accounts. That taught us that, and then this strike taught us finished off the rest of the people through Christmas, made them mad. So now it's even worse. They taught people how to not use the mail and get everything done they have to get done. So it could have been an expensive lesson for them. I mean, they probably shouldn't have went on strike in the first place. Now they're going to go again. No, the glorified commercial flyer delivery people. That's really what they're getting down to now. And flyer delivery people get $17.50 an hour. They don't get what the posties make. And it's going to be Lo Siento, postal workers. Truth is the truth. I'm sorry. Let's see it all plays out, but I don't see anything good coming out of any of these strikes. Okay, and the walls come tumbling down, and we're going to talk about that in a minute after I get to my third sponsor. And I just saw the crew from Hamill Machine Company walk by the front of the studio here from Grand Central, and what a great crew they are. Hamill Machine Company's been around since 1948, and their job is to help industry in the city. Oh, to help us too. I mean, they'll fabricate and build stuff for us. Whatever you need for your house, they can do in metal or any other. Who knows now, because they have a 3D printer that can print in probably plastic, nylon, or anything. Things can print anything, and they have water jet cutters to cut out whatever you need and mill parts and machine parts and create parts. But their big jobs that they do are for industry. And every industry that moves into any city, they look for good machine shops because they know when they break down, time is money and they don't want to be broke down. So what do? They call the machine shop to come and take a look and either fix the part that's broken or re-engineer the part, give a new part that they make. And this way, they don't have to be ordering parts from all over the world because today it's just in time delivery. No company has enough money just to have parts sitting on the shelf. What they do is they order them or they get a machine shop to create them or fix them. And that's what Hamill does. But they don't just do that, they innovate too. They look at the machine and say, can we make this machine work better? And if they can, they do. And they've done it for Rich's products. They've done it for the wine industry. They've done it for the agricultural industry. They just know what they're doing over there. They really, really do. And they ship their parts all over the world. Their little inventions that they made. It's amazing if you go into their shop and see what they do. Hamill Machine Company, been in Niagara Falls since 1948, a good corporate citizen. They sponsor the show and they sponsor a lot of things in the city. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and please support our sponsors. They're good corporate citizens, and we want them to not just survive in town, to thrive in town. Support all of our sponsors. I thank you very much. Okay, so the walls come tumbling down. Hillary Rodham Clinton, that douche that would be president, is eventually going to be let out in silver bracelets as the Russian hoax comes directly to her door via a series of emails and messages. The whole sordid affair, all brought forward by Obama and his gang of liars, aided and abetted by mainstream media, led to an impeachment and election loss in 2020. But now they're all going to pay. Now they're all going to pay. These guys are all going to start being arrested. They led a coup against them. People were fired. People were let go. Mar-a-Lago was raided. It was inspected right down to Melania's drawers in her bedroom. And it has nothing to do with classified documents. But they're all in the spotlight now. The architect of this whole hoax, someone named Julia, who's been hunted down as Julianne Smith, Clinton's foreign policy advisor, Obama insider, NATO globalist, and at the time Biden's ambassador to NATO. And Hillary approved her plan using the Russian hoax to get Trump. And that was the Steele dossier that was proven now to be a hoax, all falsified information. And this Julianne Smith cooked up the entire lie. Hillary approved it. The FBI ran with it. I mean, it's all down in black and white. It's all documented. It's all in black and white now. This is sedition. This is conspiracy on her part. And the rest of them, Obama and the gang, are all involved. And she's now on the clock. That's right. They're now all on the clock. Brennan, Comey, Clapper, you name it. The whole bunch of them are on the clock. And they're all going to be taken down for it. I mean, they're doing time. This is serious stuff. And it couldn't happen to a bunch of nicer criminals. I'll tell you that right now. Stay tuned to this one. This is going to get good when they start having the hearings, and they will have hearings. It's going down. And there's more and more coming out every day now. So I love it. I love it. Okay, Alberta. Oh, beautiful Alberta. Beautiful, beautiful Alberta, the province. Just signed a massive Canada pipeline deal with the U.S. And Chili Con Carne is not happy. And who cares what he says? Who cares what Chili Con Carne says? Really, right? Nobody cares. This guy, he's a non-entity. He's useless. Saskatchewan, Scott Moe, and Danielle Smith worked to make Alberta and Saskatchewan great again. Ontario's fathead premier, Edsel, Ford that failed miserably, works the elbows up position, threatening Trump with pulling his power while Trump laughs at Gilligan and the skipper. These two, Chili Con Carne and elbows up Ford Edsel are made for each other. Comedy show characters who have no business negotiating anything. They couldn't run a one-car parade, these two together. Useless. Alberta is closing trade deals and printing money. They know the score and are aligned more with the U.S. than Canada at this point. And you have to applaud Danielle Smith and Scott Moe, who are making their provinces great again, while Ontario flounders with Ford Edsel and Chili Con Carne taking care of the rest of Canada. And they're not just building a pipeline, Alberta. You know that? They're not just building a pipeline. They're building a network around the pipelines, getting ready to get the hell out of Canada. They know the score. And when they finish, they're going to be posed to take the plunge into independence and perhaps become the 51st state or 51st and 52nd state, the richest state other than Texas. It's a full-on economic rebellion, and it's going forward because Carney can't make a deal. He's useless. And they'll win that war. They'll win that war if they decide to get the hell out. While the rest of Canada supports and recognizes terrorist states, Alberta recognizes prosperity. Godspeed to Danielle Smith and Scott Moe. Make it happen. You deserve it. Alberta deserves it. And Canada deserves it. Believe me. Oh, yeah. Funny thing. I'm not thinking of funny things. Funny thing, when I talk to anybody in the United States, I have a lot of American friends. When I watch American, any kind of broadcasting of that, I never, ever hear one person in the United States concerned about Canadian tariffs on U.S. goods. Not one person. Nobody complains about it. Not one person says anything about it. Nobody's talking about it in the USA. Nobody's talking about it. They don't even care. Most don't even know about it. I myself am not sure what tariffs Canada is putting on U.S. goods. I don't even know. Well, nobody talks about it. Nobody in the news or nothing. Does anybody know what tariffs we have on U.S. goods? I don't even know. Coming into the country, what is it? I don't know. Nobody talks about it because nobody cares. I know the woke Canadians are telling people not to go to the U.S. and spend money. I mean, these people are insane. They're crazy. They think that's their $2 they're gonna spend over the river is gonna affect anything. It's gonna help Canadians. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. No, it's not. You go over and have a pizza over the river, or you take a trip anywhere. It doesn't matter. Your $100, your $1,000. We're talking trillions of dollars. You think that's going to actually help Canada? Oh, I'm gonna spend my money in Canada. Yeah, forget about it. It's not going to do anything. And you'll see once this weather turns cold, all the snowbirds will be going back to Florida. And of course, the media, oh, yeah, travel is down in the US. Yeah, it's summer in Canada. Most people don't go to Florida in the summer. Most people don't go away in the summer, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So, but they make the big headlines. Travel's down 30% to the US. Yeah, well, it's summer. Most summers travel's down, I would say. And with the Canadian dollar being so low, the Canadian peso, it's another reason why people don't want to go to the States. And that makes sense. I mean, you're spending 40 cents on every dollar, 50 cents on every dollar. It's more expensive in the States. So why go there? But I guarantee you that that's probably as big a reason as any. Not so much elbows up. But there are Canadians that are crazy enough to do that. I'm not going to the States because of Trump. The United States is Trump started. Yeah, they're Trump started, man. They're going. They're getting strong. But it's always the Canadians talking about U.S. tariffs. They're talking about U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods. They're never talking about Canadian tariffs on American. Nobody talks about that. Nobody cares. What did Ford Edsel say? He said he's going to cut off their power. Did he do it? No. No, he just warned them he's gonna, and they're gonna make sure they provide their own power. They don't need Canada's power. That's all they're gonna do. I mean, Canada was gonna bring the states to their knees with reciprocal tariffs. Well, that didn't work out too well. That didn't work too well. And Canada, the U.S. right now couldn't care less about negotiating a deal with Canada. They have bigger fish to fry. They're making deals with the United Kingdom, the European Union, Japan, China, Korea, you name it. A deal is on the table or pending, and Canada's on the back burner. They really are. Chili con Carne, leader of the Elbows Up movement, said he's going to the United States to negotiate. Yeah, I don't know about that. Canadians aren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, I don't think. But they're bragging. The 35% only affects things, not in the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. USMCA, they call it. Which 99% of the goods are covered under anyway. But two things about that. It doesn't cover steel, aluminum, automobiles, and there's a new 50% tariff on semi finished copper, not covered under the USMCA. And Canada is still hit by duties. Now, and just a side note to the USMCA, it's scheduled to be reviewed in July of 2026. And at that time, it could well end. And the tariffs could go on everything rather than just certain items. So that agreement might be thrown out, and that's that. So, although Canadians are a little smug, oh yeah, USMCA and blah blah blah, that's just there for the time being. It's going to be gone within a year, not even a year, 10, 11 months. So there you go. So much for that. So much for that plan. And that's the way it is. And I don't see Carney negotiating any kind of a deal. Can he do it? I don't even know if he can do it. Does he have the capability of doing it? He don't care. Most of his money's parked in the U.S. and as the U.S. Dollar and everything goes up and all the markets go up, everybody's 401ks are doing really good. Any investments are doing good. Economy's coming up. I think either Westinghouse or GE just said they're going to move all their business back to the States. $500 million of business. They're moving it back, producing in the United States. There's so many good things happening there. It's going to go. The economy is going to go. Tariffs are going to start kicking in and working, and that'll be that. And that'll be that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Chili con Carne better get down there. And when he gets down there, they'll probably send little Johnny from the corner store there in Washington to negotiate the deal because he's at the same level. Maybe Carney will have a chance because they don't even take him seriously. So they don't send anybody. Trump probably won't talk to him. It'll probably be some other guy that deals with that. Trump can't be bothered. He has bigger things going on than Chili con Carne. Okay, over to my last sponsor, Niagara Parks Commission. And we live in Niagara Falls and we take a lot of the parks for granted. There's so many beautiful things down the Niagara Parks Commission. They're the custodians of 32 miles of the most beautiful parkland in Canada, centered by, of course, one of the seven natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls itself. And when you go and look at the falls and you see the beauty and splendor of it itself, then you say, well, what else is there to do down here? How can I get better views? Well, you go down the scenic tunnels so you can stand right at the edge of the falls and look up at them. Or you can go in the Rankin Power Station and go through their wash tunnel, which takes you right to the base of the river, looking straight at the falls. It's amazing. You can go on the zip line that streams down in front of the American Falls straight across and then goes over towards the Canadian Falls. You're looking straight at it for the whole ride. They have the Great Gorge Trip. You can walk by Grade 6 rapids. Rapids so dangerous that they can't even boat through them. The boats won't even go through them. I mean, there's so many attractions. Butterfly Conservatory, School of Horticulture, beautiful old power stations, and they're refurbishing the big Toronto Power Station down there. You see it. It's an amazing building in itself. And, we as locals don't take advantage of it, but we really should because there's great opportunities to buy attractions passes and go see a whack of these attractions all for one low price and buy parking passes where we could park down there for the season for $50. And some of these parking lots are $36 for like one day. Fantastic deal. Niagara Parks Commission. I mean, we take them for granted. We take the falls for granted. We live here, but we should go down there more often. And we have 14 million tourists who will tell us, you're crazy. If I lived here, I'd be down there every day. And we probably should take their advice. Niagara Parks Commission. Go to niagaraparks.com, see all they have to offer, see all their attractions, and don't miss out on the fine restaurants they have along the parkway. Support our sponsors because they support the show. Thank you to Niagara Parks Commission. And thank you, everyone, for visiting Niagara Parks and come in from out of town. And I advise everybody in town, go down there and see what we got. It's truly amazing. Okay, for the last couple of shows, I've been talking about these earthquakes in the Ring of Fire. And over the weekend, we just had another big one, an 8.8, I believe, off the coast of Russia, Kamchatka, and that's how you pronounce it, Kamchatka? Yeah, the peninsula. And now those big 8.5 plus earthquakes have set off the Krashenikov volcano for the first time in modern history. The Krashenikov volcano last erupted in 1463, give or take 40 years, 562 years ago. And now it's active again. An ash plume 5 to 6 kilometers above sea level was recorded in 1463. And this is just one active volcano in the region. There are hundreds ready to go along with it. And I talked about Mount Rainier in Seattle, in Washington, by Seattle. That's ready to pop. There's 11-hour rumbles. In other words, every 11 hours there's a rumble, and that's an indication of magma that's trying to come to the top. It could blow the top off this thing. And because it's 14,000 and a half feet high, there's glaciers on top of it and a lot of snow that would all melt and cause mudslides and flash flooding and all kinds of things there. Not to mention blast a plume, not a plume of smoke and ash, miles and miles long, disrupt airplane traffic in the whole shot. And that thing's rumbling like crazy. And there's a lot of others along the Ring of Fire that are rumbling as well that could go, including Yellowstone National Park, which is a super cauldron. So these things are starting to go off and they're starting to get dangerous. Everybody's worried about them, the geologists especially. They know what could happen here, and if it does, it's going to be crazy. Remember Mount St. Helens years ago, and that wasn't even that big of a one. This one's even worse, this Mount Rainier, and hasn't gone off in 300 years. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting if that goes. You think it's smoky here now. Okay, let's go to the Middle East for a minute. Israel isn't fooling around. They want to completely take over Gaza and be done with it. Netanyahu's decision to take it over will see the Israeli military expand its operation across the entire area, including where Hamas hostages are being held. And Hamas won't release any more hostages. They're really all they have left to negotiate with because they've been decimated. So Israel says if they don't act now, the remaining hostages will starve to death, and Gaza will remain under Hamas control. Of course, the Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs is not happy and calls on the international community to intervene. And we see how many want to back a terrorist regime. We'll see that. I wouldn't say not many, maybe Canada, because they do that kind of stuff, but I don't think many of the other countries are going to do it. And I mean, to me, it's just time to get this over with. Come on. Let's stop the war, stop the killing, get Hamas out of there, free the hostages, and decide on whether a two-state solution is viable or Israel takes over the whole thing. As long as Gaza and terrorist group Hamas pose a threat to Israel, Israel won't promote peace. They want to wipe them out and get them right out of there. So let's get it done once and for all. 49 hostages, including 27 who are believed to be dead, are still being held by Hamas. They won't release them. Now they're going to be forced to go in, wipe these guys out. Let's get some peace, rebuild Palestine. That's what they want for the Palestinians. Make them a part of Israel. I don't care what they do either way, but just end this. There's no use killing more people and all that. And for all the people who say genocide in Israel and blah, 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 I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Hamas went in and slaughtered 1,200 people and took hostages. That's why Israel's in there. The day before that, there was no war. The day before Hamas did it. So get away from that. Get away from that. It's anti-Semitism. Somebody invaded the southern border of the United States and killed 1,200 people. What do you think the United States would do? All hell would be unleashed on whoever did it. Anyway, that's the end of the show for today. It's great to be back. I'll be back tomorrow with Habsolutely. It's the Habs time, and oh boy, our Habs are looking good. Everybody that's a Habs fan out there, they're looking good. And now we got a couple of people they're looking at picking up. If we get them, ooh, watch out. Watch out. That's all I can say. Thursday will be Straight Talk Thursday as usual. Finally Friday will be Finally Friday. Now, I don't know if I'll be in the studio to do a show on Friday. I have something I might have to do in the afternoon. So what I'm going to do is do a show live from the studios of Video Sign Incorporated and post it on YouTube. So we'll still be a show, but I'm not sure if I'll be live on 4680Q or in the studio. We'll see. We'll see. I'll know in the next day or so. Anyway, take care, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into Your City, Your Voice. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I really appreciate the people who have subscribed. I appreciate all your comments. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. If you don't agree with something I say, tell me. We'll discuss it. If you do agree, tell me. If you have an opinion on anything I've talked about, tell me. Let me know in the comments. And we're getting out of here. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamill Machine Company, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and the Niagara Parks Commission. We'll see you tomorrow on Habsolutely and Thursday on Straight Talk Thursday. I'm back to doing the show, and I like it. I like doing this hour. I really, really enjoy it here, and I enjoy working back and forth with people. God bless you all. Have a great day. My name is Paul Calamir. This is Your City, Your Voice. It says so right up there. Coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio in beautiful downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you tomorrow with Habsolutely. It's Thursday of Straight Talk Thursday, and we'll do a Finally Friday show. And we're done for the short week. Take care, everybody. Ciao, ciao.